So you had a good time during Dasra. So shall we start?
Yes, sir.
So just to briefly, let us recall the last class. So, any company which is competing in the market will choose one of these competitive dimensions, right? One is either cost is the basis, quality, then time, then flexibility. So you have seen examples like Nirma washing powder or Arvind Eye Hospital in Madurai. That is even Henry Ford also used this cost as a dimension to compete. And here uh, there are so many other examples. So yeah. At the same time, ensuring a reasonably good quality, right? Even a nano, but the Tata Nano is a bit failure. Okay. Coming to quality, see there are two dimensions to sub dimensions to it. One is top quality, another is consistent quality. So top quality means like Ferrari, Rolls Royce, Mercedes Benz, Lamborghini, like kind of. So they're like, in fact, most of those top cars, the Rolls Royce and all those things, they are more, they look like job order production systems rather than mass production system. Even though it is a car, but it is done more on a MTO, make to order, right? Similarly, like because everything is customized. If a customer wants, like I want a gold plated handle, they will make it. Then we have the consistent quality. McDonald's, we have discussed. So time, delivery time, like Pizza Hut, right? On time delivery, development speed, right? And then flexibility, like Ritz Carlton, then variety, like where you find variety of products in Amazon. Volume flexibility, Indian Railways. So from postcard to coal, they transport everything, all right? So they're not exclusive carriers. Then based, so you have to develop a manufacturing strategy based on uh, the competitive dimension that you have selected. So you select one kind of production system for cost. If you are competing on cost, you design a mass production system for, if you are selecting cost as a cost dimension. Then if you are looking for say fastness, you prioritize these dimensions. That means first of all, you have to find out that you segment the market according to the product group, then identify the product requirements, demand um, patterns, and then profit margins of each group. Determine the order winners and order qualifiers for each group. Convert order winners into specific performance requirements. Say, for example, when Ratan Tata decided to enter Indian car market, initially he's already there in the form of Indica, but he has found in his uh, analysis of the Indian car market, there is no car which can be given at 1 lakh rupee price. target price. So he thought like he has identified a new market segment where the car comes to like. So then he found out like what should be the product requirement based on that. If at all like I have to meet the target price of 1 lakh rupees, how much mileage or in terms of cc of the engine, like then how much what should be the volume space of the car, which can come within that particular target price, like what kind of features he can accommodate, because he can't uh, give as rich features that you see in Fortuner than in Nano. So what kind of features like power windows or seat adjustments, volume space, and here based on that only, like they identified. Similarly, like you, the way they have designed Tata Ace, it is purely based on they have found that in the 1 ton target, 1 ton vehicle, most of the vehicles are three-wheeled vehicle. So he thought like there is a market gap where there is a lot of market gap in terms of like there are no four-wheeler 1 ton carrier which can go into the interiors of any village, particularly like you take certain narrow streets in say Varanasi, right? So he was planning like to go into those narrow streets. Also, he should design a vehicle to fit into that. That's how like he ended up, and he found that giving a four-wheeler at uh, half a ton or 1 ton level capacity, there is a huge market for that. Only after Tata Ace, only other people started designing below 1 ton carriers like Mahindra and Ashok Leyland. All these people have come into that same market. So, so here and the third step is what are the order winners and what are qualifiers for the each group. Convert order winners into performance requirements. So here order winner means like for example here order qualifier is like in a below 1 ton is like it should give reasonably good mileage. It should have less maintenance problems. It should have safety features like that. Order winner he found what Ratan Tata and his co has found is that order winner would be like giving a four-wheeled drive, four-wheeled vehicle rather than three-wheeled tempo. So immediately they started designing it, and then there is a very beautiful designer with the Tatas during that time, that is Girish Wah, and this Girish Wah could finally do that. And then coming to then order convert order winners into specific performance requirements. Like then you say like if this is the order winner, like you have to accordingly design the all the production process as per that requirement, right? So this is how you select the. So here how you select marketing strategy, manufacturing strategy is first of all you have to select your marketing strategy, like whether on what competitive dimension you are going to compete in the market, whether it is based on cost, time, flexibility, and quality. So accordingly, you have to convert those competitive dimensions into specific performance requirements for operations. To make the operation necessary to ensure that operation capabilities are sufficient to, you make the plans so that, like I told you, in the previous class that US Postal Service is designed for efficiency, right? Like they are not bothered about time, they are bothered about only cost. Whereas later FedEx has found that there are a lot of significant amount of customers who are always in a hurry to deliver the products or covers or some packages. Immediately they have selected time as a dimension to grab the market. So immediately, instead of relying on road transport and rail transport, FedEx went about designing its entire delivery system mostly between cities through air, having their own what do you call luggage cargo airplanes. They have fleet of airplanes to do that because most of the FedEx customers are sensitive to time rather than cost. Whereas most of the customers of US Postal Service are sensitive to cost rather than time. So like most of the like people uh, who are using is mainly old people who are they go to post office, put a cover to their son or granddaughter, right? So that kind of people. So you have to. So that is what we mean by once you have selected a particular cost competitive dimension, accordingly your production operations have to be designed to fit that particular objective, right? And then, so anyway, we have discussed this MTO, ATO, and then MTS. So most of the uh, job order production systems follow MTO, whereas batch type of production system follow ATO, and then MTS is normally followed by the mass production systems. So anyway, this also we have discussed. All right, and then so competitive. So suppose like process choice. If you look at competitive priorities with manufacturing strategy, suppose if you have taken a competitive priority like top quality, on-time delivery, and flexible job process or small batch processes. If you are selecting low-cost operations, consistent quality, and delivery speed, large batch, line, or continuous flow process like McDonald, right? Then linked with the process choice, uh, competitive priorities is top quality, on-time delivery, and then like flexibility. Production and inventory strategy is make to order, right? Then delivery speed and variety, then assemble to order. And the like low cost operation and delivery speed, then make to stock. So that is how like link your competitive priorities with the process choice as well as production and inventory strategy. So this is how uh, like for example, if you take Dell, so Dell uses assemble to order, so delivery speed and variety. So because of they follow a what is so called a modular design approach, like. And then coming to types of layouts, like we have fixed layout, process or functional layout, group technology layout, and then product or line layout, right? So these are the various what you call types of layouts. So normally this fixed layout mostly useful for heavy and project-oriented production systems like shipbuilding, dams. That means where the product stays stationary because it is very heavy to move here and there. Whereas the machines and the processes move to the product. All right, like dams. See, dams cannot be moved and placed at the place of construction. So dams have to be constructed at a particular place. Digging foundations, it is entirely, you can say, uh, made to order. Shipbuilding and all these things are made to order only. So here, fixed layout. Uh, in fact, like uh, prior to Henry Ford, even car assembly used to follow fixed layout only. Like a chassis used to be at a place, and everyone used to come to that chassis and fit the corresponding item to onto that chassis. Like it may be mounting upholstery or mounting a engine or maintaining braking system, mounting tires, like that. Only after Henry Ford only he, in fact, like in certain, like even in certain cases, like even in certain cases, like um, customized products, mostly people will be following fixed layout only. Like for example, like there is Sudhakar Cars, Sudhakar Cars of Hyderabad, where he will design cars in the shape of cricket ball or mm, what do you call castor oil oil cans, cricket balls, cricket bat. He's a funny man. So he follows fixed layout only because here he will keep a chassis and try to put all those decorative pieces around it so that it looks like a cricket ball or tennis ball, depending on the customer's request. So most of you who are from Hyderabad, actually you can see Sudhakar Cars. He has set up a museum, right? So now coming to process or functional layout, this is normally used by job order type production system. So here they are custom specific products like a 200 megawatt boiler manufactured by BHEL. They follow a kind of functional layout only, right? Or turbines, generators, big generators like 200 megawatt generator. All these things are developed by like using functional layout. Using then we have group technology layout, batch type. So automobile components, they are done through group technology. And then we have product or line layout. 11:15 continue. So product or line layout or like mass production systems, like we have most of the computer components like Intel processors, Coca-Cola, Kurkure, kind of all those things are manufactured at a mass production level. All right. So here, this is how like we these are the various types of layouts people use. Say, for example, fixed layout is normally used for MTO kind of situation. Similarly, process for functional layout is also mostly job order type is also uses MTO. Whereas group technology, to some extent, they use ATO. And then product line layout, like they use MTS only because Intel processors are produced in millions because the demand is in millions. So they manufactured. So that is about line layout. Now let us go into the each of these specific types of layouts. So if you take pixel layout, here you can see that. Uh, so here you can see that like this is a fixed layout, right? So where like most of the Boeing 747 or Airbus 320, they follow fixed layout. right? So where people bring various components, like for example, even though if you take Airbus, it is a multi-country collaborative airline company, Airbus, which competes with say Boeing one. So here in Airbus, fuselage is manufactured in say Britain, wings are manufactured in Germany. You know, engines are again manufactured in Rolls-Royce engines are manufactured in Britain. France does the assembly, whereas Spain is given some other part. But finally, all these parts come to Toulouse in France, where it is assembled. So they follow fixed layout. That means the fuselage is stationary, the wings are attached from this side, and then like, all the aerofoils and everything, they are cockpits, they're all assembled together. So they follow. Whereas if you take, whereas this B is nothing but our process layout. So here what we see that here, like here, is, let us say this department where lathe operations are done, whereas here milling operations, then here grinding. This is a planing machine, let us say. So that means different types of lathes are placed in one lathe section. Different milling machines are placed in one section. Different configurations of grinding machines are placed as one in one department. So here, process-wise, the layout is designed, and similarly, like this is maybe an assembly section. So here, the path taken by a given component can be different depending on the customer's requirement. So there is no fixed path. Every component might look for a different machine and skill set. So here, like this is normally, this type of process layout is chosen by job order production system, because they follow MTO, made to order. Because and the, see, this also follows MTO only, right? Because it is made to order only. Similarly, job order type of components, like say for example, say for example, like NTPC orders say 200 megawatt boiler to BHEL. It is done over a period of 6 months or even 1 year. Make to fabricate one 200 megawatt capacity boiler. So they have most of the BHEL plants, they follow process type of layout. Okay, now coming to here, this is group technology. GT layout, because here this cell is devoted to say circular components. This cell, second cell may be devoted to manufacturing prismatic components. So here, most, like if you take say components in a that go into see assembly of a car like say Volkswagen, Polo Volkswagen, there may be say 10,000 components. So what they do is, like theoretically, you can classify all these 10,000 components that go into the assembly of a car into say family of parts, where each family requires the same sequence of machines and capabilities, right? So What you do is for that family, you design a separate department. Similarly, another family of components, you design another set of machines which cater to the manufacturing process of that particular family. So like this, what happens, like each cell is called GT cell, group technology cell. So each cell is devoted to manufacturing certain family of parts, right? Like prismatic components, maybe then what you call turning components, like that. Or there are certain components which have a hybrid requirement of, it has certain turning features as well as prismatic features, right? So accordingly, they try to configure each cell to, to fit the requirement of a certain family of components. So in that way, what is happening is you are getting the flexibility of the process layout, but at the same time, efficiency of the line layout. This is line layout or product layout, right? So you get the, so this is a, in a way, like you can say this is a hybrid layout which has the advantages of both process layout and product layout or line layout. Whereas, so the other name for process layout is functional layout. So here what we are doing is, this is normally, GT cell are normally used for what you call batch type, where you have medium volume and medium variety. Whereas this is normally line layout or process layout is used for mass production systems. Okay, are you getting the point? So this is how like we design the, these are the various types of layouts we use for various situations, like job order. For job order production system, mainly we may be going for process layout, or another name for this is functional layout. Then we have group technology, then we have line or product layout, right? This is a line or product layout is used for mass production systems. So here, this is how like you try to design the various types of layouts for various types of production systems, and for various volumes and flexibility issues. So here you can see this is a graph between volume and variety. So here, if the variety is very small, you go for transfer line or moving assembly line, right? At the other end, when you have very less volumes, variety is large, then you go for this one. So this is general purpose layout, means like you keep all the machinery very generic in nature, like all lathes as one. So those machines are not tied up to a particular component. On a lathe, you can have a lot of choice on what kind of variety of processes you can do. Similarly, all milling machines. So generally, variety, for if you have large variety, go for general purpose machines, right? If you have a very like if you take transfer line, those machinery used in transfer line, they can be used only for a particular product and nothing else. So here variety is 0, and most of the transfer lines are designed to manufacture only a particular, like in the case of Henry Ford, T model black in color. So, whereas FMS and manufacturing cell and special systems, they follow GT layout, or maybe like as I said now. So this follows GT layout, this and JITs, right? And these are all together, right? So process layout is followed in general, in where variety is high, volumes wise it is very low. When you have medium variety and medium volumes, better you go for a manufacturing cell or a FMS. And if for mass production systems where volume is infinite and variety is 0 or 1, then you go for transfer line kind of one. So group technology layout is let us say I was just now have described what is a GT layout. Say for example, a plant producing 10,000 part numbers may be able to group the parts into 50 to 60 families. Each family would possess similar design and manufacturing characteristics. Hence, the processing of each member of a given family would be similar, and this results in manufacturing efficiency in the form of reduced setup, lower in-process inventories, better scheduling, improved tool control, and standard process plan. So, for that set of parts which belong to the same family, even the process plan is same, and you have an improved tool control also, because they need similar jigs and fixtures, almost similar jigs and fixtures, and you have a better scheduling, lower in process inventory, and reduce setup, right? So this is the advantage of, so where group technology has the advantages of both process layout and product layout. But at the same time, it may not have as good efficiency of a mass production line and as flexibility of a job order production system. So when you have medium volumes and medium variety, group technology layout is the best layout. So here you can see the difference. So here, heat treatment is a common requirement for this is manufacturing cell 1 and this is 2, right? So here you can see there is a saw, lathe, grinder, and then saw, lathe, grinder, right? And here another set of components have lathe and press, lathe and press. So here, like, whereas A and B need one set of different kind of machines, and here it requires. Whereas if you go for, instead of specialized work centers, if you go for, so all the saws are in one department, all the lathes are in one department, and grinder one department, and press. So you can see that like there is so much zigzag movement of the component. So one will go to for 2 it will go to grinder, right? So then the third step is heat treatment, right? Fourth statement is a lathe, and then fifth is for press. So you can see so much travel is happening in if you are using process layout. But the same components, if you go for GT, most of the operations are done in a one closed department, within a one department. So this is the difference between a GT and a process layout, right? So like what are the characteristics of a job order production system, job shop production system? So say high variety of products and volumes, high variety of products and low volumes. That is one. Anyway, use of general purpose machines and facilities. Okay. And then highly skilled operators can take up each job as a challenge because of uniqueness. So here, there is no monotony in the work because each job is different and unique. So highly skilled operators are needed for that. Large inventory of materials, tools, and parts. So there will be a requirement of large inventory of materials, tools, and parts. Detailed planning is essential for sequencing the requirements of each product, capacities of each work center, and order priorities. So, in fact, like if you recall, the so-called functional organization structure designed by Taylor, F.W. Taylor, it is actually that functional organization structure is designed for this job order production system only. See, a detailed planning is essential for sequencing the requirement of each product, capacities of each section, each work center, and order priorities. So, for example, he recommended, F.W. Taylor has recommended there should be a route clerk as well as a gang boss for detailed planning, right, for each product and capacities of each work center. He should also, for that, he recommended what is so called speed boss and instruction clerk. So actually, when Frederick Taylor recommended functional type of organ structure, he was actually recommending for a functional type of layout. And functional type of layout or process layout is good for job order production system or job shop production system. So here you can see that the characters of job shop production system is it can handle. So you need skilled people and you need only general purpose machines, not special purpose machines, right? Special purpose machines which are designed only to produce only one type of component or subassembly, right? Now coming to character advantage of job shop, because of general purpose machines and facility, variety of products can be produced. Operators will become more skilled and competent as each job gives them learning opportunities. And full potential of operators can be utilized. Opportunity exists for creative methods and innovative ideas. Because each product, see, it is job order production system is you entirely manufacture as per the customer's requirement, right? So naturally, uh, these are the advantages, right? So workers will not suffer from monotony of the job. You can use the full potential of the operators, right? So that is the so there is no question of obsolescence in the case of job order production system. Whereas the limitations of job shop production system is higher cost due to frequent setup changes, right? Not only higher cost, even the time it takes to produce the component also increases because of to and fro movement of the given component or product within the layout. Higher level of inventory at all levels, hence higher inventory costs. Production planning is complicated, large space requirement. So that is the limitations of job shop production. Now coming to characteristics of batch production.
Hello.
Ah,
Sir, I have a doubt. Normally, in mass production system, the major way to increase profit is by increasing productivity, right?
yes.
But for job order, what will be the criteria? Like productivity won't increase much, like profits. What will they do to increase their product profits?
No. See here, no, like job shop production system is suitable to what kind of competitive dimension?
Quality.
Huh?
Quality.
Not quality. Quality
Speed.
may be an offshoot, but mainly job shop production system supports flexibility.
Yeah. Flexibility also. Yes.
So you are not competing on cost. Productivity is the main headache when you are choosing cost as a criteria. How to produce more with less cost. So job order production system is normally chosen when you when you don't want to become a prisoner to a particular product, and where your customers are come from different industry segments, right? Say for example, if you take Heavy Engineering Corporation Ranchi, they take a lot of customized jobs. Similarly, BHEL accepts various kinds of products. So they are not prisoner to a particular product. Like if you take L&T, they are not prisoner to a particular product. Whereas if you take Hero Honda, see most of the Hero Hondas or Honda Activa, all these scooters, even washing machines, they follow mass production system. There the productivity is very, very important. Even in job order production system also productivity is important. Like how well you conserve materials and then cut down the costs and time. See, I told you na, you have to always be watchful about these three things: P, Q, I. That is productivity, quality, and innovation. So, in every system it is there, but in each system the priorities will change. Say there is a scope for a lot of mainly in job order production system, you are competing when you have selected flexibility as your competitive dimension. That means giving a customized product. Like for example, I told you, Ferrari, Rolls Royce. See, they are not competing on cost. They are competing mainly on quality and flexibility, giving lot of choice for the customer. So naturally they follow what you call
Job type. Job shop.
job shop, okay, or process layout, process or functional layout, okay, for infrastructure. So here now coming, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So like coming to characteristics of batch production, when there is a shorter production runs, when plant and machinery are flexible, when plant and machinery setup is used for the production of item in a batch, and change of setup is required for processing the next batch, and when manufacturing lead time and costs are lower as compared to job order production system. So batch type is a compromise between mass production and job shop. All right. So you have medium variety and medium volumes, and again at the same time you have medium lead times, and a bit lower than the costs are a bit lower than the compared to job order production system. So advantages of job production batch production system is better utilization of plant and machinery, promotes functional specialization, uh, cost per unit is lower as compared to job order production system, lower investment in plant and machinery, flexibility to accommodate the process number of products. Job satisfaction also is there for operators because here also there is a medium variety of components they will handle. So there is no monotony. Okay. Now coming to limitations, material handling is complex because of irregular irregular and longer flows. Production planning and control is complex a bit. Working process unit is higher compared to continuous production. Higher setup cost due to frequent changes in the setup. So these are the limitations of batch production system. Now coming to characteristics of mass production system. So standardization of product and process sequence, right? Because like process sequence is also standardized. Because the entire process is okay. So here, dedicated special purpose machines having higher production capacity sound output rates. So this is where I am saying. So here, productivity is on a higher pedestal. How you can do within short time and at the same time costs are lower. So you have to use dedicated special purpose machines, right? And anyway, large volume of products, shorter cycle time of production, lower in process inventory, right? So because the inventory doesn't stay stationary at any point of time. Perfectly balanced production lines, flow of materials, component parts is continuous and without any backtracking. So only forward movement only. And then production planning and control is easy because see, once you have standardized the product and you have found the market is good for that, there is no PPC here. There is no production planning and control because everything is automated. So it is like once the aeroplane takes off, during in between cities at around 30,000 feet, most of the aeroplanes will be in autopilot because there is no need for any navigation because now everything is fly-by-wire technology. No? So similarly here also, once designing a mass production system is a bit tough, but running is very easy. Even a low-skilled worker, you can use it. In fact, I used to tell in my previous classes, Henry Ford used to boast that I can use some of the physically handicapped persons in my production line. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So here, see perfectly balanced production lines. So even Henry Ford used to boast that even a physically handicapped he can use because there are certain operations in the production line where the operator has to use only his foot instead of having to use hands or vice versa. So you can run somebody has asked what is it? Somebody asked some question.
Can an organization adopt more than one production system?
Yeah, you can use now. Like for example, Intel sometimes has a separate lines for i7 processor and separate production line for i5 processor. So depending on the volumes, if the volumes are less, then you go for batch type of production system. Where if the production rate is far, far higher than the demand, naturally you go for batch type of production system. If you suppose like if each of your products have a lot of volume requirement, then you design a separate production line for each of those products, and they can be within a organization also, right? Say for example, and it can be in different places also. Like Tata Motors has production unit of Indica in Pune, whereas in Uttarakhand they are producing Tata Ace. Both are belong to Tata Motors only. So similarly, Hero Motors, because there is a significant demand for motorcycles in South India, they want to start a new production plant in say South India, like in Anandapur. So they can be there. It all depends on how much volumes and what is the production rate, right? Then advantages of mass production is a higher rate of production with reduced cycle time, higher capacity utilization due to line balancing, less skilled operators are required, as I just told you now, low process inventory, manufacturing cost per unit is low, right? Because you are producing in millions now. So the fixed costs get spread over large numbers. So that is one reason. Then we have coming to limitations of mass production is breakdown of one machine will stop an entire production line. Naturally, na, like so in fact, like even a lack of certain, see now most of the automobile uh, manufacturers, they are using one, now they are suffering from one, all of them are suffering from one issue. What is that? Any guess? Huh? So chip shortage. It is not a mechanical component. Finally, most of the automobile plants all over the world are facing chip shortage. See, now most of the engines in automobile are they are operating based on what you call they need lot of compute chipsets for, like, because they use lot of sensors, they are using AI as a means to assist the driver. They want to use so they want to use chips for various sensors mm, and using those sensors they want to improve the what you call riding comfort of the customer. So most of the chips are in short supply, right? So similarly, like it is not only breakdown of one machine, even lack of a simple component can hold the entire production process. And line layouts need major change in the changes in the product design. So like even if you a customer says like I need a small change, sometimes it is very difficult to accommodate that change, because for that you have to change the entire process also. You have to redesign the process itself. Now forget about product design, even process also. And high investment production facilities. So because mostly you will be going for special purpose machines rather than general purpose machines. So high investment is needed whenever you go for special purpose machines. And then the cycle time is determined by the slowest operation. So that is how like you these are the limitations of mass production systems, right? So now anyway, in the next class we will start this break-even analysis. So this is a very again a interesting exercise. From this also you will know why the cost of manufacturing goes down as the volumes increase. All right. So, so this break-even analysis will throw some light on this particular aspect of.
Sir,
Okay. Ah,
can you share the PPTs till now? Like because it has been long time and we are having some like blur on concepts.
this PPT, yeah, production management, huh?
Yes, sir. Till break-even analysis, like till today.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank
So,
you, sir.
yeah. So, any doubts? So, anyway, we will meet in next class. Okay. Uh,